All right, everybody. YFBU. Your face be Ugandan.
You're Mexican dead. Listen, I love Mexicans. I'm like the biggest fucking Mexican fan.
That isn't Mexican.
Well, yeah, well, no, I'm not Mexican. I'm white as fuck. I'm a cracker. But I love Mexicans. Holy shit.
This is your wake-up call. Prepare
What do you
to
like
die.
What?
About Mexicans.
What do I love best?
Your room isn't ready yet.
They have the strongest sense of family and familial obligation. No, for real, for real. Like,
that's racist.
Here's the thing. No. See, here's the thing. In America, we have to make videos like we have to like make Fast and Furious movies, so everybody thinks we like it's all about family. Oh, I know what that is too. It's all about family. But that's how whites make up for their lack of family feeling is Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah, I haven't.
What?
Oh, boo-hoo.
In the correct answer.
Have you seen Citizen Kane?
Yes.
Got the question right. The rest
It's
of
kind
you,
of okay that Adam has the same
What
cast of like
classics have you not seen?
Quite a bunch, probably.
Okay.
Welcome to the killing room.
I don't pretend to be
Let's
an
see who
expert
has
on older
ESP.
films.
Type in an answer that fits
Well, I
this
mean,
category.
as long as you're Orson Welles,
Everyone else will answer too.
like, we're fine.
And if anyone
Whatever.
matches you, you die.
Honestly, I think it's more important that you watch Orson Welles films than it is
And I do
Kubrick
mean
films. Fuck
anyone.
Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick is overrated as fuck and should be canceled forever. Fuck Kubrick.
I hate my answer because I know
let's see
everybody
if
else
there
is
are
gonna get
any
it, but I have no
matches.
fucking idea. Oh, no,
You
yeah,
got red
I'm
like
done.
a book.
Oh, fuck! Dead already! Shit!
It was you and another... Wow.
I should have
Brazil.
chosen Paraguay.
Surprise! Okay, so...
I typed like 3 other answers and it was like, nope.
But you're a ghost now.
Those aren't real
Keep playing,
South
and
American
just might
countries. I'm
steal
like, oh
someone
shit.
else's life force and win the game. Oh, also, there's an audience in the game. If
I
they
love Touch
survive,
of Evil.
you
Oh my
die.
fucking God, that
Hot
movie
tip,
is so
you
good.
can join the audience
Dead
any
at
time.
$0. Perfect.
Yeah. Bruh.
Let's try
Bruh.
another one. In the Greek alphabet, which of these letters comes the latest?
I think I got this wrong.
Time's running out. Who picked this?
Yep, got it wrong.
Bruh.
The rest of you who are
Bruh
still
got it.
alive,
I confidently
I
got it
want to show
wrong.
you something. Bonjour! Welcome back to the killing room.
Kubrick is overrated.
Are you ready to fall?
Kubrick is
Good luck with my new
bullshit, dude.
minigame.
Why?
Why?
You're going
Oh
to
my
drop
fucking
down this
God.
door
Oh, no.
and try
No,
to
dude.
avoid the
Like,
death zone.
Kubrick's amazing.
Kubrick is
Someone needs to
amazing.
pick
No,
which
he's a
slots are death
genius.
zones.
He's also overrated
Go
as
ahead,
fuck.
everyone else.
Overrated?
Choose a slot so they get
Overrated.
no bueno.
He's one of the most influential directors of all time.
Yes, absolutely. And I would agree. I would agree with people with their ideas
Let the
that
games begin.
You're
There we
screwed.
go. Oh no. Oh no. Thanks for that bump, baby. Cool. Appreciate you.
Oh shit. Oh, you screwed.
Oh, you fucked up, zombie
I'm gonna leave
mama.
now.
No, Kubrick's overrated. Like,
In what way?
The Shining is the best example of Kubrick being totally overrated.
What do you mean?
Well,
Well, I'm
composition
Jeff
wise,
Holiday, and I like to take the.
Shut up.
I would like you to
opinion
defend
on
yourself. I'm
anything.
interested in hearing.
Composition-wise, the way in which he shot that movie is absolutely fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Everything about how he crafted it was amazingly
Agreed.
influential.
100%.
Even the like pseudo kind of like really fucking weird brutalization he did of that poor fucking woman. I mean, that's like Hitchcockian. So whatever, it is what it is.
I'm waiting for you to defend yourself.
No,
on why he's
hang
overrated.
on. I'm making sure that I'm trying to get my answer real quick. But here's the problem. Problem is, if you were to, knowing what we know now about cinema and try and actually like put The Shining up against the metric of it, The Shining is, I'd say, a good 60% irrelevant.
What do you mean?
It doesn't serve any purpose, and it's a bunch of pretentious bullshit. It looks like a bunch of Stanley Kubrick
I don't
literally
agree.
jacking off into my
No.
face. No, yeah.
No, I
oh,
disagree
yeah.
completely.
And he absolutely had no respect for the source material
That's
that
good.
he was making.
That's good.
No, it's not good.
Because he made it its own thing.
No, it doesn't matter. No. I don't agree. I don't agree.
One of these new words will be a
I
word
think
written
that
by
Stanley
Aunt Mildred's
Kubrick,
ghost.
Jeff, what's the worst Star Wars movie?
what's the worst Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one, man.
Come on.
That's a
So
really
many
tough
convincing words to choose from. Now, type the word that Aunt Mildred wrote, or you die.
That's a really tough one.
Is it?
Yeah, it is actually.
So how about like
Enter the right word now.
I'd
With the
say
real Aunt
The
Mildred,
Force
please stand
Awakens
up.
versus The Phantom Menace?
Looks like there's no.
Gotcha, bitch! Gotcha!
Oh, I got Nightmare. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know what
Bah.
that means.
I think actually Rise of Skywalker is probably the worst one, honestly. Even
Might
worse
be.
than The Last Jedi. Last Jedi at least was trying to do something different.
I
you
wish
know,
we had
whatever.
Billy here right now because he'll defend all of the new.
Yeah,
Star
Billy's
Wars
Billy's
movies.
just wrong. Billy's just totally
Here, when one player is left alive,
Billy
we'll
defends
go to
the
final
indefensible.
round.
What Billy will do is
Next
he's like,
question.
"Oh, this Star Wars movie is the
Which of
best
these
if
instruments
the
could I grab
sequel
by the
is
neck?"
exactly how I say it should be." Then that movie was the best. It's like, what?
For real though? Honestly, Kubrick overrated.
I still haven't heard like a good defense.
Well, okay,
you say
here's-
you say
here's-
that
here's-
The
here's the
Shining is
thing,
him
here's the thing.
jacking off, and that's your only reason why.
I think that Kubrick before he got famous made
Only
way
the
better
ghost got it
movies.
wrong.
I
don't
like
like
Kubrick
saying
before
that.
he was cool.
We know, but like honestly, kind of
Let's try
legit
another
because
one.
like once 2001
How many
happened,
questions are in each edition of Trivial
Kubrick
Pursuit?
was basically had a bicycle pump up his ass, and Hollywood was just pumping the air up there. I'm gonna go with that one.
I'm not sure I agree with you.
2001 is a
Time running
shitty
out.
movie.
What?
It is yes, it is a
Oh, kill
no,
yourself.
it's a brilliantly shot.
Jeff.
It's a brilliantly shot.
Why is it
Amazingly
shitty?
composed.
Defend yourself.
Because it's boring. It's so
in your
boring.
opinion,
Dude,
It's so boring.
In your
Tell me the movie
opinion.
that
It's
came out on the
so
set.
boring.
Defend,
It's
defend
so
your
boring.
opinion in a way that's not
Before you
entirely
ask me the gift.
subjective. You just say
But
boring.
no,
$3
there's no
signs
such thing
to
as an
live.
objective
And if
movie
you keep
review.
scratching,
That's
I'll give you
impossible.
the
That's
cash.
true,
All the
but
extra dollar signs
you have to
want.
defend
It's
why
boring.
it's
Scratch off
boring.
even one
Because the
skull,
pacing
you
is
die.
terrible. The
It's not.
pacing is no, because the thing is the problem
Scratch
with
off.
Kubrick. The problem with Kubrick is that Kubrick keeps wanting to
More
get
stuff
this
now.
idea of he is not just viciously jerking off in everybody's faces all the time, but that's all he really does.
But you said like after he got famous. Like
yes,
when
the
would you
latter
say that
the
was?
latter half of his director.
So like
directorial-
2001, he was already like super famous.
Yeah, he was just jacking off in everybody's fucking face.
Ah, no.
Yeah, no,
I
he
disagree.
was.
I completely
no,
disagree.
half that movie could be
Kubrick's a
scrubbed.
genius.
Half that movie could be taken out, and
No,
nobody
it's
would
perfect.
care. Nobody would care. It's not a perfect film. Oh my god, it's so.
It's in the
boring.
title. It's a space odyssey.
Well, sure,
Only one of you is
sure,
still alive.
absolutely. We could have had a movie that had a coherent and actually full plot. But instead, what we got was basically this auteur, which it was back then the French word for autist, jerking off in our faces with a bunch of inane shit.
Pick your things.
Tap each answer that fits the category and then press submit.
Yeah, I really entirely disagree with
right
you.
answer.
I understand. I'm not saying like all of his movies are bad. I like.
Space for each
I think he's a genius. I think that there are quite a few movies of his that are
You're on your way to
genius level unilaterally.
Did you think it was going to be just you?
But there are movies that people just
If a ghost catches you, they'll steal your
assume
life
are
force.
perfect,
Then they can try
and
to
I don't
escape
think
and win
they
the
are.
game.
The Shining is
Here's
one.
everyone's next
2001 is another.
And they get a third chance to help them
And
catch
pretty
up
much
to you.
anything near the end of his life was a fucking train wreck.
Time is almost
But
up.
his earlier films, especially like his war films, were incredible. Absolutely incredible.
No, yeah, I mean, like... Yeah, the one from the 50s, what's it called?
By 7.
Shit. Forget the name of it. Well, I'm gonna have to... Damn it.
I don't know.
Shit,
I
what's
know.
the title?
Look, chat, listen.
What's
guys,
the title of this movie that I love? It's not
Chat,
Wario.
I get it. I totally get it. I know it's a hot fucking take, and I don't expect you guys to be on board with me. It's okay. It's totally okay. But that's how I feel.
Passive Glory. That's a movie I really
Yes,
like.
yes, dude.
Yeah, but I completely
Are you
disagree
afraid
with
of the
the
dark?
idea that, like, his films after that point were not genius.
Well, no, they are. No, I never said they weren't genius. They are fucking genius.
I don't think they're just him jerking off.
Well,
is
no,
almost up.
yeah, but they are. I
No.
think they're genius. I think they're genius.
Not at all.
But-
They're not him jerking off.
Nah, yeah, but they
He
are.
was paving the way. He was paving the way for
Here comes the
artistic
next
cinema.
question.
But he was he's so awful.
Human body
No!
sustains.
Yeah, he was.
You're not defending yourself right.
Oh my god, he was so shitty. None of those are a
This
thing.
is insane.
What? No. None of those are a thing. Wow. God, you're all bad at this. What the fuck?
Uh-oh.
Anyway,
This might
no,
be your
I'm
question.
look. I'm not saying
He
that
was
anybody's
making
wrong.
Mediterranean
Art
islands.
before people were brave enough to make it.
Sure. He's making art before people were brave
Yeah,
enough to make
in a
art.
in a very in a high budget kind of way that was like meticulous. You know,
Okay.
there wasn't a lot of people out there that were making things with like that much production value that could also be considered like artistic.
I'm not
Film.
saying I'm not saying he's not an absolute.
There's a reason
trendsetter.
why like a lot of his films were initially passed aside and didn't make much money
Time is almost up.
when they were released, and then
Sure.
later considered to be like these masterpieces, right?
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like as I was saying.
Well, we died. We're all
Yeah,
dead.
no, I destroyed all of your pussies. But no, what I will never say that Kubrick wasn't a genius. I'll never say that Kubrick.
I don't think he was jerking himself off.
Yeah, no, The
No
Shining
way.
was. Yes, The Shining
No
was.
way.
Yes, because
he had an ego, but it was
look,
deserved.
he-
it was
he-
it was a
he
deserved
legit-
ego.
He took the source material and he shit talked
That's
the source
good.
material.
That's
no,
good.
It's not.
That's great.
Because the original book is great. The original book is really good.
Do you love the Stephen King adored miniseries from the 90s? Because that's bullshit.
That's a
It's
poor.
awful.
That's a poor comparison.
What do you mean? Because Stephen King, the writer of the original book, loved that miniseries.
I know he did.
And you're
I know
saying
he
he
did.
shit on the source material, right?
Yeah, but at least okay. Is it on the same level as like a Kubrick film? No, of course not. And
It's awful. It's fucking garbage.
If you were to ask me, do I consider The Shining to be a brilliant movie? I would say yes. It's a brilliant movie.
Okay.
It is.
All right.
But Kubrick is still jacking off in my face while I'm trying to watch that movie, and he shits on the fucking source material.
That's not a bad thing. I think that if you have the talent, that you are allowed to jack off in people's faces, and it's okay.
If Kubrick had the talent, he would have written that book himself, but he didn't.
Yeah, but he wrote his own.
Oh,
he made it his own thing,
and it was
he
great.
adapted it from the source material and created
Shining,
his own version.
But he didn't write The Shining.
Yeah, he didn't write the version of The Shining that sucked.
He didn't write any of The Shining at all. He didn't write.
He wrote his own
aspect.
version.
No, he didn't even fucking.
What do you mean?
No.
Well, then how did he not adapt it if he didn't write something that's different then?
All I'm saying.
Hey, it's The Shining.
Gotcha.
It's the Overlook.
All I'm saying is that I have mad respect for him. I have mad respect for the man. But you cannot, if you are being fair to the creative process, you can't say that Kubrick did a good adaptation. If you like,
well, what do you think his goal was? He wanted to create his own film.
If you
and he made that clear.
Yeah, I know. If you
what do you like? You can't judge it on the basis of whether or not it was a good adaptation of the source material. If that wasn't his goal.
If you like Kubrick's The Shining, good. That's great. That's fine.
I love
it too. I like it too.
I think it's amazing. Well, so why do you think that he's an overrated director just because he didn't adapt the source material?
Because he jacks off in everybody's faces.
That's such a vague thing to say. Because so vague.
No, because in the last,
you're not defending yourself well.
The last 20 years of his life, he produced terrible films.
No,
no, they were bad, dude.
Was Eyes Wide Shut?
Eyes Wide Shut was awful. AI was awful.
AI was not a film he made. That was Steven Spielberg.
Well, that's very convenient, isn't it?
What do you mean? That's literally
convenient.
True.
No,
that's a true fact.
Stephen King finished the last.
Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg. I'm fucking drunk.
I know.
He finished like
I'm
the
going
last.
to bed.
He
Good night.
Like the last
no,
10%.
He didn't even start directing it. It was like a concept that he was thinking about.
Oh, come on.
There was not a single shot of AI that was shot by Stanley Kubrick. I don't think. I'm pretty fucking sure. The entire thing was filmed by Steven Spielberg.
Do we know that?
I'm pretty fucking sure, yes.
Okay, well,
it was a concept that was going to be adapted by Kubrick.
You're the movie,
and then Steven Spielberg, took over.
I'll bow to your expertise, but I have.
You can't count AI as evidence that Kubrick is bad.
Okay, well that's fine. Eyes Wide Shut was awful.
I used to consider that as one of his worst movies, but not even as a bad movie in of itself. And I haven't seen it in a while.
It's a bad movie.
I don't think so. I would love to watch it again. When's the last time you've seen it?
Okay, to be fair, it's probably been like 8 or 9 years actually. I guess I would watch.
I would love to see it again.
Watch it again to try and be fair. Yeah. I would.
I want to give that movie another chance for sure.
Like the thing you have to understand is like I actually really do love Kubrick. I love Kubrick, but I hate The Shining. I hate
just
The Shining. It's specifically The Shining, and I'm in love with 2001, but I do have very serious criticisms of it because of the tonal pacing of it. And like you can excuse it as like, well, it was a 70s sci-fi flick, but I don't think that's valid. Like,
what do you mean?
Because if you're talking about the pacing of it, there are other examples that are brilliant, like Logan's Run.
What do you think it was trying to be versus what it was?
Well,
I think it was exactly what it tried to be. And just because it tried to be something that you didn't want it to be doesn't mean it's bad.
Well, yeah, but that's the subjective nature of like whether
exactly.
Like a movie or not.
Completely subjective.
Yeah, of course. But
you're trying to make a case that Kubrick is overrated, as though that's some sort of.
Well, he is overrated.
What do you mean?
Anybody who says like any director aside from Kurosawa is a god is that director is overrated. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, no, I wouldn't say that. I would take more issue with the people that say any director but blank is a god, not necessarily the director themselves.
But Kurosawa was a god. But but the thing is, like, I'll say very, very confidently, Kubrick was a genius.
He was.
He was
100%.
Absolutely a genius.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He was also
he revolutionized
also
filmmaking.
a pretentious cocksucker.
He was. Okay, you could argue pretentious. I'll give you that.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, he did things that were against the grain, 100%, but that's the entire reason why he was a genius. That's the entire reason why he was so influential. You can't possibly be influential unless you're doing things that are against the grain. If you're doing things that everybody else is doing and just making the same like sort of checklist formula that other people are doing, you can't possibly be a name that is considered influential, right?
I would agree. I would agree. So there are very, very specific things that make me antagonistic towards him. So it stems largely from The Shining, from him being very dismissive of the source material.
I don't see that as a bad thing.
I understand, and we will probably never be able we'll never be able to to find a common ground.
Sure.
I like Stephen King's original work. I really do.
Okay.
And I think if you take on a project like somebody's book, and then you're like, well, but fuck the book, like you're kind of a prick.
But he made a better version.
But not really. No, not really. There was so much more interesting things in The Shining that he didn't put in the movie.
Okay, hold on. So I haven't read the book, but I've seen the miniseries which Stephen King approved.
You haven't
and he loved the miniseries. The author of the fucking book said this miniseries is my version and it's great, and it was fucking bullshit.
Well, maybe it was badly
so if
made as a
if that's the same person that's the author, then I'm like quick to say like, okay, maybe the book isn't that fucking great if this is what the book was, right?
What'd you think of Dr. Sleep?
Wasn't big on it.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I'm not gonna. I like my initial reaction is be like, well, physical challenge. Then you should like read the book, read both the books. Yeah. But I mean, maybe you don't like King. Maybe you don't like Stephen King stuff.
I don't like consuming my narratives in text form.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, I understand, and so like.
I don't leave a lot of time for that in my day.
Maybe that dysfunction like comes down to basically our different interpretation of the story, and it does bother me. It bothers me a bit.
But that's like your biggest issue with him is The Shining.
No, that's not. Well, it's a very large one. 2001, I feel, is pretentious, but it is brilliant. It's genius.
If it wasn't pretentious, it wouldn't be brilliant.
Yeah, and I think
if it was just doing everything that everyone else had already done, it wouldn't be a brilliant movie.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong in that either. I will acquiesce to that. I agree. One of the reasons why it's so genius is because it's pretentious, but it also means it's one of the reasons why I don't like the fucking movie. Yeah, so, all right, so one of the things that you have to understand, when I'm looking at Kubrick, there are things where I feel like Kubrick had such respect and such an embrace of the original context of the creation that he treated it like it was gospel. He treated it like it was like sacred text, like Clockwork Orange. Incredible. Fucking incredible. He took that book.
Hold on. You said once he got popular, he got shitty, and you started that with 2001, which was before Clockwork Orange. So why are you saying that was brilliant?
And the outlier,
Oh, an outlier now.
Well, I'm giving him credit right now. I'm bouncing.
I'm poking holes in your argument.
No, I am being fair, and I'm also giving some credit to Kubrick.
Okay.
In that I think his treatment of A Clockwork Orange was not only fair, it was reverent, and beautiful.
Maybe because he liked the source material more, and he figured he didn't need to change as much of it to make what he wanted.
Yeah, and I guess that's
which is a perfectly reasonable thing for an artist to do. Someone should create what they want out of something, right?
That's a testy conversation, though, isn't it? I mean, like, if you're wanting to take something from a medium, that's very personable and very meaningful from one artist and transform it to another.
Well, when you sell the rights to another person, you should expect that it doesn't necessarily turn into what you want it to be.
Maybe I'm waxing poetic about, you know, an industry that does not give a shit.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. But I will say that's it. But that's the example that I'm giving is he was very reverent to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Mm-hmm.
But he was not to Stephen King. And I don't think that's very fair. And I don't like his adaptation of The Shining. And I don't think that's necessarily wrong. It doesn't take away from the fact that it was a brilliant film. But... So
you say it's a brilliant film, but...
He was still jacking off in our faces. Because
that's
what Kubrick does.
All right, everybody. These boys are tired, so we're gonna stop the stream. Sorry for everybody that thought we were gonna play more. I made it clear before that these boys were tired, so we're gonna go to bed. It's 1 in the morning. Maybe I'll play some Halo. But these, yeah, maybe I'll do that. But these boys are going to bed, so I might start the stream back up in 20 minutes. I might not. We'll see what happens. Good night for now. It might be a permanent good night. It might not be. So peace out. Bye-bye.